This is the plaintiff, Tamari Whitkin Marcus. She says the defendant's moving company badly damaged her piano while being transported and won't compensate her for the repair she surely needs to make. It took her 9 years to pay off the thing. She needs it because she gives piano lessons and finds it hard to believe she has to actually sue someone before they stand up and do the right thing. She's suing for $2,868.59, the amount she's out. This is the defendant, Lucille Rostek. She says the plaintiff's piano was moved right after her basement was flooded from a hurricane. The piano was damaged by the water before they even touched it. And the plaintiff should be downright ashamed of herself, trying to get her company to pay for existing damages. But you know how it goes with some people. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. She's accused of not tickling the plaintiff's ivories.
Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Tamari Whitkin Marcus? All right.
That is
You are
me.
suing Astro Moving and Storage Incorporated, and Tom Moore, represented here by Lucille. How do I pronounce that?
Rostek.
Rostek. All right, for $2,868.59 that you say they owe you for damaging a piano that you had hired them to move, correct?
Correct.
All right, tell me what happened.
What happened was on September the 6th, I needed to move my piano out of my home, and I was moving it to my student's home in Bridgeport
And
Avenue.
why were you moving it to your student's
I
home?
was moving it because I needed to clear off the floor from Hurricane Irene, the first floor. So
Okay, stop a second. Why did you need to clear out the floor from Hurricane Irene?
the first floor of my home sustained a little water damage. So I had to clear off all the contents of that first floor.
So in order to do the repairs to that damage, you need to move all the contents of your first floor.
Right, correct.
And then you're moving the piano to a student's house. I guess those students the student's family had agreed to house the piano for you for.
Oh, they were delighted. The piano worked beautifully, and they wanted to use it for
Is this an upright or a baby
their
grand?
granddaughter.
A baby grand or an upright?
It's an upright with a baby grand sounding board.
Okay. So you hire them to move, and the move occurs what date?
September 6, 2011.
And tell me about the move. Apparently things did not go well.
Well, actually, things went perfectly, it seemed, when by the time they got to the Adorno's driveway.
The Adornos are the people who agreed to house it?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're my students. And so when they arrived in the Adorno's driveway, I had a peek at the piano, and it seemed to be in good shape on the truck. It seemed to be. So then what I noticed is that the piano didn't have the type of ramp, the type of platform that piano movers generally use to put that piano on.
What are the type of platforms?
They used a dolly, a regular dolly.
What would such a platform look like? What is she talking about? Do you know?
She's talking about a board. It's called a piano board, but it's only used for baby grand pianos or grand pianos, not for upright pianos at
Okay.
all.
All
She's
right.
a
I beg to
layperson, so she
differ.
would not. We are a moving company. We have
Okay,
moved.
don't talk to each
I'm sorry.
other.
I'm sorry.
Don't talk to each other.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Okay, so go on.
Okay, so that was the first thing I noticed, and I kind of bit my lip. But before they even agreed to bring the piano into the house, they bullied me into signing their release form.
How did they bully you into
They said,
signing a release
we're not
form?
giving you this piano until you sign our form.
Who said that to you?
The head mover, William. He said, you need
Is
to
this
sign
William?
this.
Yes.
Come on up, William.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
What's your last name?
Bostic. William
Okay.
Bostic.
Did you bully her into signing a release form before you finished the move?
No, I didn't, ma'am. What I said to her was on a cast job, before all cast jobs, we must collect before we unload
Right.
the personal items.
Right, because otherwise you unload and then you don't get paid.
Correct.
Okay, but did she sign the release before the move was over, or did she sign while she's paying, or did she sign the release after the move was over, or you don't remember?
After.
Okay. And according to you, it happened before the move, and it happened because he
Correct.
made you sign a release.
Correct. He
Okay.
kind of bullied me into signing it.
How did he bully you?
He said, we're not giving you this piano, ma'am, until you sign here. So I had to sign.
Okay, why wouldn't you just say, oh, sign the release as soon as we're done, and I see that everything's fine?
I had a lot on my plate on that day.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a piano and guitar teacher.
Okay. All right. Can I see the release form that was signed? Do you have a copy of it?
Oh, I'm sorry.
So go on. You sign a release
Okay.
because you were bullied into signing a release.
Yeah,
Then
now
he
the
takes-
next thing that happened was we were concerned about the condition of the piano. So there were 3 guys managing this piano. So they tilted the piano, they dinged it, they nicked it, they chipped it.
How did all that happen?
As it got tipped, as the 3 men tipped that piano, that's when the music shelf cracked. That is when the bass arm got chipped in a huge piece of lacquer.
What did it hit that caused it to get chipped?
It hit their floor, and then when they were trying to turn the piano, there was a piece of high polish black satin finish that chipped off the bass arm.
Right.
At
How
that
did
moment.
it chip off the bass arm? How? What did it hit? Usually there's an impact or something that caused. Do you
Right.
know? Or if you don't know, just say, I don't know. I mean,
I don't remember exactly how it happened,
Okay.
but I saw it happen at that moment. And
If you saw it happen, then how do you not know how it happened?
Mr. Adorno took that chip and he said, "Look at this! Look what just happened! What can you do about it? Can you have it fixed?" And he says, "Oh, well, we'll fix it ourselves." And I said, "That is not acceptable. This is a really high polish." Black satin finish that needs to be done professionally by a professional piano technician.
Okay, but let me just ask you this: why does it have to be done by a? I understand why you want it to be done, but we're talking about damage to the wood, right?
Yeah.
An expert craftsman who's a carpenter could do it too, right? It has nothing to do with the actual sound of the music.
Correct.
Okay, I just want to check
Correct.
that. All right.
You are absolutely correct.
All right.
Yes,
but you don't
a
want
fine
them fixing it. They're
cabinetry person.
movers, and you don't want them fixing it. This is
Yeah,
not.
I
their-
don't want them using Elmer's glue and sticking pieces back on.
Is that what they said they'd do?
They said they would fix it themselves, and when they say they fix
That
it
sounds like
themselves,
what
it's
they do.
amateurish. It's
Okay.
just not acceptable to me, you know.
All right.
Because the piano was the cabinetry work is what I'm really asking for. I'm not even asking for flood damage, water damage. That has
Why would
nothing
you
to
ask
do
for
with
flood
it.
damage and water damage?
No, because
Right, you wouldn't ask for that.
it has
They
nothing
didn't
to do
cause
with it.
hurricane. Did you
It
cause
has
Hurricane
nothing to
Irene?
do with the
No.
flood
All right.
damage. Nothing
Now,
to do with
according
that.
to her, while you're moving, the thing tips over and hits the floor. Did that happen?
It didn't tip over. We went over the call of duty for this lady. She asked us because the wheels was rotten. You know, instead of gold, it was brown. So she wanted to wipe it and clean the bottom of the piano. I did not want to turn the piano over. So we tilt the piano, we put pads on the floor. The people gave us extra pads. We had enough pads, so I said, we're good. We laid them down. There's no way you can chip a piano on any type of floor if you put down several pads and then tilt it over onto its left
Okay, so what
hand.
you're saying is that you tilted it did not fall over, you tilted it over
No.
at her request
We-
so she could clean the bottom
Yes,
of the...
yes.
All right, did that happen?
He is correct. This is why they tilted the piano at my request. However, the way that they tilted it is what I took issue with.
Okay.
Because they were so rough with it, and they did it so quick, and that's when there's a big crack in the
Tell
music
me
shelf.
about
It
the
happened
wood falling
immediately.
off. Tell me how this happened.
When we turned over the piano back right side up, she started wiping it down. When she wiped it down, she wiped off the piece.
How do you wipe off the piece? Something had to happen to the piece to make it come
Some
off.
sort of damage to it. What I'm thinking, it came from the water damage from her apartment.
But why wouldn't you think that it came from leaning it down?
Because how you gonna lean it down that way? If you're leaning
Okay,
it,
so you acknowledge that in fact there was damage and she was unhappy at that point, right?
Yes.
All right, well then how could it possibly be that she signed the release after that when she's clearly not the kind of person who would...
she signed
Just go away
she signed the
quietly.
contract.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, be honest about this. Suppose you're moving, and it's the end of the day, and you're really tired. The movers give you this form and says, give us a release. Would you inspect your stuff before you sign?
No, I wouldn't.
You absolutely should.
Pardon me?
You absolutely should.
Would you?
Absolutely.
Okay, sir.
I would probably not, as vigilantly as I should,
And then you would regret it.
and I would regret
And
it.
then you would regret it. And that's probably very honest going inside the courtroom.
She signed it.
But wouldn't she write on the chipped arm needs to be fixed or whatever? I mean, if the damage had already happened when she signed the release, I mean, she's not noticing it. She's saying, look what happened, look what happened. Why would somebody after that, why would I believe then that they're signing the release after that?
Maybe she knew that her piano wasn't in good condition.
I don't know. Can I see the photos of the piano?
Sure.
I don't know. Now, the first you hear from her is when?
It was a couple of days after the damages happened. And what we do is if a client or a customer makes a complaint, we make a copy of the original invoice, and then we make a complaint, what we call like a complaint file.
Right.
So
you have
on the
insurance,
back,
right?
Pardon?
Do you have insurance?
Oh, yes, we do.
She bought insurance, right?
No, she did not.
She
There's
didn't.
standard insurance, and that's all she would be entitled to if we, in fact, had
She didn't
damaged
buy
it.
extra insurance, she just has
No.
the
No,
standard insurance.
not at all.
All right,
And-
but
and
let
we-
me,
and
well,
we
that's
were-
not what all she would be entitled to. If you folks, put your hand down. If you folks, if I hire you to move something and you damage it, I'm entitled to whatever damage you do. It's your problem whether you're underinsured, overinsured, unless I sign in a contract that I am limited to certain damage. Is that what you're saying she did?
Yes, that's what's here
for
on
the love of
that
God.
form, on the invoice, Your Honor.
Okay, that's where it's limited to 60 cents per pound per article. How many pounds was this?
The pianos usually go from anywhere from 350 to 450 pounds
Upright.
for an upright.
Which on the high end would put the limitation of damages to 270. Shipper, you're the shipper, important, read what you are signing. If you don't declare a value, then we agree that it's not more than 60 cents per pound. You
Yes.
see where you signed that? Do you have a copy of this?
Yes, yes, I
Okay,
do.
do you see where you signed that? You do, right, you did, you saw that before we got here. Every moving contract has something like this, because they can't have people saying, oh, it was a rare Stradivarius, and, it was worth $1 million, and look, they need you to declare beforehand, before they pick it up and put it on their dolly, they need to know what it is that they're moving. You did not declare, did you not read that?
I was really in a rush.
I don't suggest signing 3 times when you're in a rush, because then what happens is that we're stuck with what you signed. And being in a rush is not an exception.
I understand that.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand that.
I'm stuck with the contract that you signed. And the contract that you signed has a limitation on liability. It's not the contract I signed. You can't get mad at me for that. It's the contract that you signed. I'm going to go on the high end of the poundage. But even on the high end of the poundage, it's limited to $270. And I'm going to find in your favor in the amount of the $270. I think it's going to cost more than that to fix the thing anyway. The arm anyway. Never mind everything else. It's going to cost more than that to fix the cabinetry of the arm. So I'm not even going to consider for a second that it would be less than that. $270 plus court costs, of course, for the plaintiff.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The defendants come out. She didn't get anywhere near what she sued for, but she did get a decision. What's your feeling?
Well, we really think it was water damage. I mean, her area, her home, neighborhood was deemed a disaster area. So, I mean, she had plenty of damaged
So
items.
she knew about this pre-existing damage. So what you're
Exactly.
telling us is that she put this whole scenario together, made you tilt the thing over and pretend to wipe it, and then discover this damage. She had this scenario all planned in advance?
I'm not saying she had it planned. It's just that things happen. She probably knew her piano was damaged. I believe that.
And she wiped it and went, oh, you just damaged my piano, but she knew that was pre-existing damage. So just to pin it
Pretty
on you.
much, yes.
To pin
Yes,
it on
pretty
you.
much, yes.
All right, okay. All right, you just head right around the corner, and let's see what you have to say about that one. Here, step on in here. First of all, you sued for quite a bit, and you only come up with 200 some odd.
Yes. I'm not concerned about whether I won or lost. I'm upset that I signed that contract and didn't look at it carefully.
Yeah, you should read what you
Yes,
before you sign.
You
Of
are
course.
absolutely correct. And it is my fault that I did that. But I want to also point out that the moving damage happened before my very eyes and before my students'
Well, they
eyes.
say you planned a scenario to pretend you're discovering this new damage,
It had
which was
not-
really pre-existing. You-
That has nothing to do with the reality. The reality was that they damaged my piano, but the reality is also that I was too quick to sign their contract without reading it
Over to
carefully.
Harvey.
Okay, if somebody actually holds your property hostage, like a mover, and they say, we're not going to give you your stuff until you sign this thing releasing us, what you should do is you should sign and then write signed and paid under protest. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.